One is that I'd like to be sure I understand when you talk about the silent aspect, what that is. Is it that equals to being in the ego? Does it equal to form and shapes that we experience in this materialistic world? Or is it something else? And I didn't understand it right, what you meant by silent aspect. Or being, you also mentioned being in pure awareness is the silent aspect, but to me being in pure awareness was already being a higher state, so that's how I got mixed up what exactly the silent aspect is. And the second question or comment, that it was not easy to do the meditation for me with you. Not with you, but to go through it, and I noticed where the difficulty came from. So when I tried to unite with my environment, and I was thinking in terms of shape and colors and myself on my skin, and then I thought, oh, where am I going? I'm going to a space where, what are the other cells there? Those are Ebola. I don't want to unite with Ebola and all that stuff. So only when you have taken us or taken me to more of this shapeless, formless eternity, and was I able to lift out of myself and feel that unification. That was easier, and then it was so vast that I have felt my head throbbing, like as if I had veins around my ears that were throbbing, and it was really, really intense. And I was wondering what your comment.
And you earlier wanted to sit here. So this is why I said, like, sit a little bit away.
Okay.
So now you know it, right? So how many answers should we have? 1 or 3 or 5 to this? Because there's so many different layers. Well, first of all, silence is that which contains all that what you just said. All these words, all these thoughts, all these feelings come from silence and nowhere else. All silence. This silence. Words, silence. Oh, silence. Oh, silence. You hear me? Everything what you just said, right? You're asking me, what is this silence? Silence is that contains everything. It contains absolutely every sound. And just observe it yourself. Just close for a moment your eyes. Just close for me. Close your eyes. Okay? And put your right hand on your chest now. Just put your right hand on your chest now. Okay? And feel the touch of the hand to the skin on your chest. Just feel the touch. Okay? Just open your eyes now. Just relax your hand now. Okay? Just that moment when you put your hand on your chest, the sense of touch took over. Maybe momentarily there was no thinking. Thinking came later. That was a moment of silence. You closed your eyes, that was a moment of silence. Immediately thoughts came in, right? Feelings, sensations kicked in. But all this takes place nowhere but in silence. So in other words, sometimes I say when people attended too many spiritual talks, I tell them go and take a crash course in science. It makes more use. And scientifically speaking, everything takes place in silence, because silence is that background. That infinite background where everything rises. So this is in response to that. In response to what is silence here. Because I don't want you to categorize silence. It's very simple. We sit in silence now, even when we speak. The Bay Area is in silence, California is in silence, America is in silence, the whole planet, galaxy, solar system, and so forth. All this is in silence. Do you see now the categories of silence? from here, from that gentle touch, to the utter vastness of the universe. It's all in silence. And I forgot your other question, sorry.
It's about the experience of the meditation.
Yes, no, I'm just...
I'm sort of resistance as long as I'm
Yes,
really
no, I'm just pulling your leg, I'm being naughty. Because what I meant, silence make us forget all this, you know. Make us forget momentarily. You know, silence is so sweet, it's so nice, it's so natural, it's so homely, so beautiful. But guess what? If you are not afraid to dissolve yourself, your boundaries, then of course there will be Ebolas and even worse, you know. All these Ebolas are there because we are contracted. Okay, trust me on that. Or go and really find out how does that works. You see? Up until there is too much of this isolated, fragmented consciousness, there will be suffering, there will be disease, there will be war. It's inevitable. Because everything fires in different direction, everything fires, everything. There's no coherence, there's no flow. Flow presupposes that something flows in waves. For something to flow in waves, there has to be a coherence. An orchestrated sound moves in waves, and this is what we recognize as melody. If people don't know how to play music, you know, like imagine each and every one of us now will be given a musical instrument of the best quality, and we'll all start banging, you know, like beating the strings, beating the drum. What is it? Is it going to be a music? No. It's not going to be a music. It's going to be a cacophony. And that's what we live now. We live in a time of cacophony. So when you sit down and you're not afraid to dissolve these apparent boundaries of this apparently contracted awareness, then there will be, of course, fears of this kind, of that kind. You see? Just look at it from that perspective. Because when you dissolve, right, what happens? It's already together. In the field of silence, it's already all of this together. It cannot be otherwise. It cannot exist for a split of a moment if it wasn't together. The reason why all these planets are in the orbits, the reason why you're hearing me and understanding me, you're understanding my words, the reason why the retinas in your eyes recognizing and seeing this light, seeing others, objects, seeing colors, the reason why you sense and have the sense of touch is because everything is already interconnected infinitely, intimately, beyond comprehension of the mind. And it's all connected by that silence, which is the ground of all there is, and the real you in you. So what is there to be afraid? What Ebola or whatever name there is, you know? So at least when you're sitting here, wherever you are, here or at home or wherever you are, do not be afraid, because being afraid, that's what creates Ebola of all kinds. The biggest disease, you know, Ebola is nothing compared to that separation we live in. What if tomorrow they will announce, fuck it, this world coming to an end factually, and it's not a Hollywood blockbuster? Because whatever. No, sometimes it's good to have this dramatic, very, very shaking, you know, matter of fact. Oh, where am I in all this chaos? Are you ready? You have to be. You have to be ready. You see, this is why. You have to look in the face of these fears and recognize them for what they are. this fears of separation is the cause root of suffering. Even if, like, can you imagine in meditation, like, oh, I cannot unite with that. You are already united with that. Just admit that and allow that. Already that union, what allows you to be here. It allows me to be here. As me and you as you. You see? And we are all together, like in the Beatles song. So what else was there? What else fears? Pressure in the head, this, right? It's all good. This is the sign that it worked. It worked. So my advice to you, not to be afraid. Okay? And when you are afraid, do not fight that fear. Look it into the eyes. As fear rising, face it off boldly. Just as you're looking at me, look at the fear like that. And you will see how it will melt and disappear and dissolve completely. And instead something beautiful will arise there. No, I really mean it. Good.